Exclusive interview with her, and let's take a look at her journey so far.
A disadvantage, which it is, sometimes you go, people don't take you seriously, but it's also your power because, being authentic in who you are is truly, truly how you gain power. For me, I'd say, my name is Fatima Babakura. I am the creative director and owner for Timabee, which is a premium accessories brand for women. So I decided I was going to get into design when, for me, it's just something that happened. It's a story of a hobby that became a business. It's not like I set out to start a business. I just realized that, we're very big spenders when it comes to luxury handbags and shoes, we African women. And it just didn't make sense that every time I go to buy it, I was always seeing a French or an Italian name. And I wanted, to just do something about it, put an African name at least, or, do something that would represent us. And that was it, really. It was with that idea that I started my business. So for me, luxury, right, goes beyond the price point of an item, because usually when you hear the word luxury, you think about how much it would cost. And for me, I see it as how much it takes, like how much time it takes to create an item, the attention to detail, in an item, does it have like historical value? Different factors. I'll give you an example with the business that I do. For us, it's the attention that we put to detail. And so, some of our bags are hand stitched, and because they're hand stitched, it takes a longer time. And obviously that could mean, longer time, you're paying more, and that translates to how much, you'd be paying for it. But for me, I just don't think, luxury a lot of money. There has to be a reason behind why you're charging. Of course, starting my business, it's very natural for every single business to experience challenges. When I started, I was pro-made in Nigeria. So I wanted to make my bags here, and obviously I faced the challenge that every single Nigerian business faces. Electricity being one of it. Also, just not having the right talent, like skilled artisans to make the bags the way that I wanted to, because I was very clear from the beginning that I wanted to sell to the world. And so it had to be at a certain standard. And because I faced that, I had to outsource, production elsewhere. So yeah, definitely challenges would be like, the Nigerian challenge on its own. And then, when you look at any business in the world, for me, like I started the business with no knowledge of business at all. So I had to learn on the job, and that meant making a lot of mistakes as I learned on the job. Also not knowing anything about fashion. I went to school for accounting. So, I had to learn a lot. Yeah, so for, our creative process starts with a sketch. I'd sketch an item. I'm terrible at sketching, but I know how things should look like. So I'd do a rough sketch on paper, and, I'd send it over to the people who are going to manufacture. They'll do it in a software, it'll look a lot nicer. They'll send it back, and then, I begin to pick materials for it. So that means the leather, the hardware, and then we make a sample. From a sample, we decide, do we like it? Do we want to change things? If we like it, then, it goes straight to bulk production. If we don't like it, then it means, we do a sample again. So we make samples as many times as we need to before we make the actual production of a collection. I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship for African women because I feel like entrepreneurship, especially for women, has a domino effect, right? Because women, we all know that women are builders, women are great multitaskers. When women do really well in entrepreneurship, it's easier for them to pass it down to, maybe their kids. It's because, they're spending more time with their kids. And women, as we know in society, unfortunately, we are at a disadvantage. Because we're caretakers. So, the amount of time you really want to spend maybe at the office, entrepreneurship gives you that flexibility to be able to run your business at your own time, to just do things at your own pace. And so it's really the reason why I'm passionate about entrepreneurship for women. It's because, that time flexibility that it gives is something that women need as, home builders and caretakers of kids. Because like I just said, right, like the African woman, the woman in the entire world doesn't really matter. Like the problems of a particular woman, it cuts across the whole world. It's not very particular to Africans. Yeah, so for me, I think entrepreneurship is just something that would help eliminate, the glass ceiling. So there's a glass ceiling at the workplace, but with entrepreneurship, it's almost very hard to see the glass ceiling because the limit goes beyond the sky. The limit is as big as you want it to be with entrepreneurship. It gives you endless opportunities. And so that's why I think it's so important for African women, for women around the world to just be a part of entrepreneurship. Absolutely. So I'll give you an example with what I'm familiar with. I am from northern Nigeria. And, usually our culture is very conservative. And because of that, we're not, we're usually known to just be homemakers. If you're lucky, you get to work. And even that, they're telling you to hush, hush about it. Don't come out. Don't make it a big deal. And, for me, it doesn't make sense because you can be all right. It doesn't. And the reason why I think culture is like that to women is because they feel like you're going to lose some of that value that you have as a cultural woman. But I think it's possible to do everything and to balance it well, really well. It's what I try to do, with, everything that I do. I try to show people that you can be a northern Nigerian woman, maintain your values and your culture, and also run successful businesses and not lose any of the values or, whatever it is that you have. No, so I don't think I have met up, but every day is a new day for me to work towards the vision. The vision was to build a global brand from the beginning. It was to put an African name, a Nigerian name on the face of a luxury brand. It's still something that I continue to build every single day. So no, I have not met the vision. Like I haven't fulfilled that vision yet, but it's something I work towards every single day. It was a great, I was very excited. I think it's a great achievement, and being on the cover for me is something I am particularly proud of, simply because, it's the first time I think Forbes Africa is having a northern Nigerian girl wearing the hijab on the face of their on the cover of their magazine. What it says is, it's possible. The limits does not exist. You can, be a very culturally grounded woman and still, achieve greatness in business. That's what it says. And for me, it would help inspire a lot of younger people to know that, because Fatima has been there, she's done it, I can do it. I think it's, it's a great thing. It's lucrative. Otherwise, I would not be doing it, because obviously I like I like to enjoy. I get a salary from the business. I pay the other people from the business. If it wasn't great, I wouldn't be doing it. So with TGR is Timabee Global Resources. Now TGR Africa is something that I started. It's a mentorship program that I started for girls. The success is, so far, I started and I stopped because not having enough time on my hands. I've so far, mentored 20 girls. It's an ongoing thing. You don't mentor and leave them, right? So every time you're having sessions, and 2 of the girls have gone on to start their own businesses in the same industry, and every day you see how much progress they make. So I think, we've done, well, I wouldn't say we've done, because we don't even have a team. It's just me mentoring like girls, but I'm currently building a team for that platform now. So the commissioner happens to be my mom. And so every time I come home in the summer, there's really nothing to do. And if there's one thing about me, I just don't like to sit and not be doing anything. I can't do it. So I came home, and my mom was the commissioner. She needed someone to be her personal assistant, or let me say, I begged to be her personal. That's the truth, because she already had a PA. But we were home for the summer and I said, you know, I can do a lot better than your PA. Please hire me. And she agreed. She's like, okay, but I wasn't even getting paid. That's the thing. It was lovely because, you know, she was first the commissioner for women affairs. And so she worked with a lot of like vulnerable kids, women. And so I learned a lot. You know, if I didn't even learn anything, I learned to be kinder to people. I learned empathy and a lot of things on the job. So yeah, that's how. Yes, so my mom is very disciplined. If there's anyone I look up to, you know, in terms of work ethics, it's my mom. Because my mom right now can, you know, come back from work and if she needs to make a trip, she would do it. You know, she doesn't give excuses. And I think, you know, if I could be half the woman that my mom is, I would achieve a whole lot in a very short time because sometimes I get lazy and I make excuses for why I shouldn't be doing things or procrastinate. But my mom, I don't ever see her procrastinating things. She's one of those people that would travel and right when she gets there, she's unpacking. Like she doesn't even rest. So yeah, discipline is definitely something that I'm learning from my mom. Keeping to time, oh my God, my mom is like a military woman. If she tells you 5 p.m., then it's 5 p.m. I came here on time today. So you see, that's something I learned from my mom. Yeah. Inspiration comes from anywhere. It sounds very cliche, but it's true. I could be sleeping and I mean it. I could be asleep and like, obviously, maybe right about when I'm about to wake up, I think of something. And usually the ideal thing is to pen it down so that you don't forget because yes, your memory would fail you. Usually I'd either do a sketch or I'll write it down. So if I'm too lazy to sketch because it's too early in the morning, I'll just take a note. I'll probably say pink bag or something. Yeah. It could happen right now. You know, I could be looking at that and decide, oh, maybe the next pattern for the leather should be a leaf. It comes from anywhere, really. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I look up to many designers. I love Victoria Beckham. I don't know why. She just got into design, but she's very graceful. It's the way that she does things. Yeah, I absolutely love Victoria Beckham. I look at Carolina Herrera as well. She makes absolutely gorgeous dresses. So yeah, like people like that I look up to. It's something I'm getting into. Jewelry, I love jewelry, rings especially. You'd always find me wearing rings. And so, you know, many people have said, why don't you start a line of rings? You know, it's something that I've thought of as well. So it's in the works. It's something I look forward to doing maybe next year. Fingers crossed, yeah. I'd say embrace being a woman. I know that, you know, because of the society that we live in right now, people think, you know, being a woman is a disadvantage, which it is. You know, sometimes you go, people don't take you seriously, but it's also your power because, you know, being authentic in who you are is truly, truly how you gain power. For me, I'd say, you know, I'm glad that, you know, throughout my business, I haven't had to change who I am to be where I am, right? Like, you know, I've remained this northern girl. Exactly. You know, the world would catch up. Just be who you are and do the work. And don't say because you're a woman, you know, you're going to not do as much work as is needed. Just do the work. Yeah.
And that was Fatima Babakura, the CEO of Timabee Global Resources. She's into jewelry design,
design and
jewelry
shoemaking,
design,
and
yes.
yes.
Also, we surprisingly have another officer who has written and unveiled his poetry collection in Port Harcourt. I actually heard it was so good. One of the top traditional rulers commented on
Oh
the
wow!
book.
You know
Yes.
the fact that you know you have a daytime job doesn't mean you don't have
That
other
shouldn't
passion.
discourage you.
For example,
yes.
I'm sure even while you're a journalist, you're passionate about other things, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, I think it's the same thing for him. The fact that you're a military person, a personnel, the fact that, you know, you're a banker, the fact that you're a politician doesn't mean you do not have
You should
other
not explore
passions.
your other passions. Yeah. So the title of the book is Like Butterflies Scattered About by Art Rascals.
So he's an author and also a poet,
Yes.
right?
His name is Umar Sidi. Umar Sidi. Yes, that's his name.
Okay, let's take a look at what he has, you know, for us.